Good evening, everybody. Welcome to October 30th, 2023 meeting of the Board of Selectmen. We had a brief non-public with Public Works Director about a new hire, which brings us to 6:42 PM. We'll start with pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a couple appointments to conservation, and we can start, who's asked a couple of questions. We'll start with Susanna Heitzlin.
Yeah.
All right,
Should I?
come on up, yeah. Good evening, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are
Good,
you?
Good. So what makes you interested in serving on the Conservation Commission?
Well, we had reached out earlier in the year just looking for ways to get involved and not really sure what that would mean. We live on Abijah Bridge Road close to the Toby Hill Conservation Land, and we love to use that and just sort of wanted to give back. And when we met with the commission, they indicated that there was an opening, and so I felt like I'd be a good fit. My background is in civil engineering, so I have a little
Nice.
exposure to municipal permitting, environmental permitting, that sort of thing, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
When did you meet with conservation?
April of this
Well, the
year?
first time, April.
Yeah, and then this past month's meeting.
Okay. And then, how long is this opening for? Do you already know?
3 years.
3 years starting which March,
Start,
2023?
well, she's already been put in,
Well, it would be 2023, right?
already been
It would
agreed.
be to
We're-
26.
But that's, we're about to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the term ending 2026.
26, yeah.
Yeah,
I think on Abijah Bridge, you have a farm. What kind of activities do you guys do there?
Yeah, so we are focused on perennial crops. So we have a bunch of blueberries, that's probably our biggest planting. We have apple trees, raspberries, we also grow shiitake mushrooms. And hazelnuts. We have a big hazelnut planting as well.
I've never known anybody that grew hazelnuts.
Yeah. Neither have I. It'll be a little while till we have any.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. No, I think we're, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, we're good. We're just gonna ask if you guys come in a few minutes early before your next meeting, and Maureen can actually swear you in.
Okay.
Work?
Before the next conservation
Yes,
meeting?
yep,
Oh, okay,
we're-
yeah,
I'm sorry,
sure.
yes, next conservation meeting,
Yeah.
which is, what is it, Naomi?
Whatever the second
Oh,
one.
what is?
Second in November.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I thought it was 11/8.
11/8, thank you, Janice. Yeah, 11/8.
Coming a little early on the,
You just come in a few minutes early like you did when the ethics were meeting. If
Okay.
you want to go in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good.
all right,
We can do
And
the
so-
appointment now, though,
okay, yep,
right?
yeah, we can
Okay.
vote her.
all right. Well, I'll accept a motion.
I'll move that we appoint Susanna Teitzlin to the Conservation Commission term ending 2026. Yeah, I guess that's it.
As a full member.
As a full,
As a full member.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 2026, would that be November 2026?
March.
Okay.
March.
All right, thank you.
Philip, come on up.
Did you vote?
Yes, all in
Yep.
favor,
4-0.
yes. Philip Cody
Hello.
is here for an alternate on the Conservation Commission. What makes you interested in doing that?
Well, originally I just wanted to volunteer and help build trails on some of our town land, so I attended a meeting, and there was no way to coordinate trail work or volunteers to do that. So it sounded like maybe if I join the commission, we can work on some sort of way to make trails happen.
I think it'd be
In a
great, yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah,
We have a lot of land here, and there's could be more trails.
I agree with
We're-
you.
We like trails.
Yes.
Would that also include, putting out maps of where those trails are? Anything like that?
Maps would be great, and that's something that Zuzu's pretty good at,
Is it?
so, yeah.
I think there are a couple of maps out. I think Farron Pond has one, and I think Poor Farm has one, but Poor Farm
we don't
Trails.
certainly
The
have
Fair
a-
Pond map's
Yeah,
nice.
there's still lots of opportunity.
Yeah, there's tons of opportunities, yeah, yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
I guess, are we okay? I mean, I'm assuming, are y'all married or related or what have you? So are we okay to do that?
One's a full, one's an alternate.
One's alternate. Philip's alternate.
That's what,
But they could still be voting at the same time.
if there was someone not there, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's no concern about that? Or there is a concern and it won't happen often?
It won't happen often, anyway. And they, they can abstain, one of them could abstain if they were both there.
The
Is
thing
it
I'd
something
see,
that conservation already talked through?
Well, we just mentioned it, not recently, but we have mentioned it, that if you had two members that were, married, whatever, that we could have one abstain and one vote.
one time I'd see it'd be an issue,
I don't
I guess,
think
that if it was bordered property, which you should abstain anyway.
Right, yeah, I don't think it's an issue, really.
Okay.
Is this a 3-year term?
Yeah,
I do know what you're saying, though. Usually that's, this
Yeah,
doesn't
just-
happen
just
too
making
often,
sure.
I guess. We don't have,
Well, now I'm gonna see if my wife will run for selectman.
there you go.
No, I'll move that we appoint Philip Cody as an alternate on the Conservation Commission for a term ending March 2026.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4, oh.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the same thing that we told Suzanne, just for the record, show up a few minutes early to the next Conservation Committee meeting and we'll swear you in.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
11-8.
Appreciate you offering to serve.
Absolutely.
Want to do John real quick, or? We'll go down the agenda. Next on the agenda is George Merrill, with discussion about access to River Road. George came to us, I don't know, a month ago maybe with this packet, perhaps?
Yes, I don't know if all you have a packet. I have it in here if you would like it.
So, we discussed it, there was miscommunication in one meeting, he wasn't invited to come, and then we forecasted a long meeting last week and asked if he minded being put off till today, and he agreed, so here he is.
Thank you.
So we'd just like to hear thank you.
I think that wrong.
What's that?
You get the front page.
Oh,
You get the
Yeah,
front
front
page, but not the back one.
oh,
I grabbed
okay,
the wrong packet from my desk.
I got you. So,
Is this the same as this? If so, I have a
No,
copy.
this is this.
Is this September 25th, George?
Pardon?
Dated September 25th?
yeah, I have this, George.
I have this,
You have that.
I do,
You
yeah.
have that.
and I have it.
You can grab it.
So we have read this, and reached out attorney, got some answers, but I guess I'd like to just start and have you give us a run-through of your,
I'm hard to hear you.
we've reviewed this, and we asked our attorney a couple questions about this, but we'd like to start out with you.
Okay.
Just tell us about it. We have a new member, and it's been about a month, so refresh our memories, please.
It started years ago with a house lot on River Road, and Billy Bovier did all this development and stuff and had 4 lots there. I acquired one of them, and before I did, I went to the fire department to make sure I was going to be able to get a driveway. And the first concern with the fire department was the cistern that kids had vandalized, and it was inoperational. So they wanted me to repair it before I could get a permit. But then later on, I was not the fourth lot to trigger the pond being, accessible. I was only the third. So then the driveway was the next hurdle, and it was because it was too steep. It was over 10%, which the town requires 10%. And so I changed the grade on it some and got it down to less than 19, which it was at one point. Got it down to 17 in a couple places, down to 8, 10, and 12. And the fire department looked at it. In fact, I have a letter here from the fire, from the new, not the new chief, but the,
Interim fire chief.
yeah. And so that was some of my hurdles that I've been through. You've got that.
I got it.
I don't think
Thank you.
I have it.
you have it. And so
Thank you.
the town, the old town attorney was passed away. I don't know who's doing it now. Was it his son?
Different firm,
Different firm?
different firm.
But he had gone through the whole history of the lot and came up with that basically what the selectmen needed to do is to approve a ruling that is the town's ruling, and it's on the back page of your, on page 10. In fact, it's in that letter as well. It says first, the selectmen the existence of the dedicated way onto the two old plans is problematic since it appears that the proposed joint driveway would be built, at least in part, over the bed of the dedicated way. The simplest solution from the old attorney is to have the Board of Selectmen exercise their authority under RSA 231-51 and extinguish the public servitude since the street, lane, or alley has not been opened, built, or used for public travel within 20 years from the dedication. The second issue to be addressed, that a proper agreement between the owners of lot 406-51-2, which is Menard, and lot 406-51-3, which is mine, to be established, which addresses the joint maintenance and corresponding easement concerns that is not related to the unapproved documents on record. This is important that it is clear by allowing the two common driveway agreement, the town is not sanctioning or otherwise legitimizing the unapproved private road arrangement that is contemplated by the ultimate agreement. This should include language making it clear that the easement approved by the planning board between the two lots owners is limited to them and may not be utilized as access to the other lots south. And a maintenance agreement which agrees to maintain the common driveway in such a condition that permits year-round emergency vehicle access to the two lots. So that's what I'm here for, is to ask you to waive that, so it would clear the way for me to continue on.
And we talked about it at the time and about a month ago. Think had no issues, did want to run it by our current town council because the packet that you'd given us included the very, very thorough analysis by the previous town council coming to that conclusion. We just want to confirm with our current living town council that still held true. She said, yep, looks good. I have no problem with it. I think we should do it. And then that would be for the first part, the actual effectively dissolving that road, which was never built. And then leave the second part for you to deal with as private citizens.
So is currently a driveway there with a residence on it?
Yes,
Not
there is.
yours, but
Yes,
this driveway's being used.
that's the one, yeah, I'm going to
Yes.
use. Menard is the property owner, and it's that lot 50.
But there's a residence
Yes,
there.
yes.
So does this, it's been being used, so would have there been a
Well,
public servitude on it?
So, but then it spurred off of that. And correct me if I get this wrong, but the driveway was there, and then the lots were sold
Right.
and subdivided, and the road was designated for it and then never built, but off of that driveway, right? The road didn't start at River Road.
off River
started-
Road, 1015 River Road, yes.
Did start off River Road.
So the road came in off 1015, where 1015 River Road is, that's why there was a fire pond
Yes,
or a dry hydrant, whatever's there's now. And the road went up by 1015 and looped up. And what that was, is that road was never built. So then what happened was he came back to the planning board and erased the road and made the frontage on River Road, but it takes an astronomical amount of fill by the guardrails to come in off River Road. So that dedicated way was replaced in a new plan, which is why there's two different plan numbers. So the first plan created a road, which is why he had to put the cistern in, because it was gonna be multiple lanes, lots. Opted to, whenever that was, market didn't go, road didn't get built, erased the road, connected the road to River Road, and the lots now have frontage on River Road, but I don't know that it ever got rid of the dedicated way.
Right, that's what we'll do.
But there's a
If we choose to.
process for that, which takes, notifying owners. She laid it out in the very
But
bottom.
doesn't their residence go beyond where the entrance to your property would be?
their entrance is off to the right. There's
Yeah,
no
yours
there's no
is
homes
here,
off to
and
the
yours
left.
goes up past it,
Correct.
correct? Or
Yes.
theirs goes past it and yours is to the left, right? So they actually use the road up past where your driveway would be? They
No,
can-
he's going
No.
past their
You're
house.
going past theirs, okay.
So theirs goes in to the right. He's
Yes.
gonna continue on to
Okay.
the left.
Go in about 300 feet, and mine branches off to the left.
Right.
Okay.
So on terms of that dedicated throughway road, it's clear to me that the dedication occurred. Do we have any information that says the town actually accepted that by acting, like clearing the road or doing any maintenance or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Because that would be implied acceptance.
Are you the next lot beyond 1015, or are you in a couple of lots?
I only own one lot.
But where are you in reference to where 1015's house goes?
I
He's
am
up here, and he's on
200
off
feet.
first.
Their frontage is 200
Goes
feet.
this way.
Mine is,
Hmm?
Do the whole thing.
theirs is here. No, this is right here. This is theirs right here. And it comes in about 300 feet, and then mine branches off.
What did it?
So their house comes here.
Yeah, way up here, yeah.
This is them, and his is here.
Yeah.
You guys wanna see the big map?
Yeah, I do. I had this visualized different than what you're saying.
This is River Road.
Yep,
This is the shared driveway part right here. This probably maybe 250, 300 feet.
right.
And this is my lot here.
That's what I was trying to say. They go on up, I guess I was wrong, but I was trying, they are up beyond. I mean, they use
They
this
go
whole
to the right,
piece.
Benji.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, they go to the right.
right.
And he's gonna go left.
Yeah, going left.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought it was. But the real issue is this piece, right?
Yep.
But it's being used all the time now.
It's a driveway.
Right.
It's not a
Yes.
road.
Yeah.
Right, it's a driveway.
And there is a road that was never built through here, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's, I don't know if this,
Do you have the other plan? It does show
I
a,
don't know if I have that or not, but I might have.
there's a plan that shows the faint road through the middle.
Yes, here's some
Yeah, sure.
better drawings of it right here.
Does that show the faint one through it?
That's what you're asking about, right? They're both the same.
Oh, okay. So, I'll just help you out here. Wanna dance?
You gonna play the
So this
music?
is what I was talking about, if you guys wanna hover around, pardon my back to the TV. See, the road used to come in as George, and the road was supposed to go up through here for access to the lots.
Yep,
So this would have continued?
Then,
yep.
Yeah,
yes,
more on an angle.
So this
Just
would've-
like this.
Yeah,
this would have come here, and the road should have been dashed along
yeah,
to get to these other lots.
Mhm.
to these
These
two.
lots, these two.
Yeah.
So if you see where this is, this would have come
Up
to
through there,
here,
yeah.
and this would have lined up to here, because there's where your first plan was, okay? Second plan comes back this way, in which you still have this, but they moved the proposed wells closer to River Road down here.
Yeah,
But you've gotta put in so many, I don't know, you'd have to put in so much fill
Oh, bad.
to get here. And then what happened was these lines became washed away to make this lot.
yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's where the lot line adjustment occurred.
So
But they-
how are the people getting into these other two
Off
lots
River
now?
Road.
They'll have to come in
They'll
off of the
have to
road.
come in off of the road, which is what the plan shows.
Okay,
He, it being here, can do as Bill said, but these two here beyond him are gonna have to
come in
come
there.
in
A
here.
shared driveway or a single. yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's up to them to figure out, right?
Yeah, it's, we haven't heard from these two.
All right.
Is it okay to share what Laura said the steps are with him?
Yeah, so,
George? This is what town council today has told us.
Okay.
So this is what they're gonna talk about next, is what we have to follow, I believe. I talked to Benji today, so you can have that copy,
Okay.
okay? That's for you.
I've seen the map with the dotted lines, I can't find it.
no,
Yeah, there is a map, I
I thought it was a paper one, but then I thought I must have seen it on the GIS site, but I just pulled that up and didn't see it there either. But it is as described.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, when we ran this by our attorney, they responded and gave us, I guess, 4 steps that we're supposed to follow. So just to read you what she said. It says, here you have a request by Mr. Merrill to release the public servitude. Says that, and that is a satisfactory petition. To release the dedication, you have to follow the process for laying out a road, which is found in RSA 231:9-12. Number 1, you have to give notice to anyone who owns property over which the dedicated road passes and anyone who holds a mortgage on that property. Notice is sent via certified mail or left at the person's house if they live in New Hampshire. If they live out of state, we just send it registered mail, which that's not the case. Number 2, at least 30 days after notice is given to the owners, the selectmen need to notice and hold a public hearing on the request to release the dedication. 3, as part of the public hearing, the selectmen are supposed to go back and look at the dedicated road to be released and then return to the town hall to hold the hearing and hear from anyone who wishes to offer evidence on the topic. And 4, after they close the hearing, the selectmen vote to release the dedication. That is what the answer we got from Laura Spector Morgan Group, or from Mitchell Municipal Group. So, guess we start with one by sending out certified mail to that homeowner, right? Because the two owners would be those people
You're
and,
gonna have to do a search, in the registry to see their mortgage if they have one. Because we have to let the mortgage holder know as well.
okay.
So we do that, the town's gonna do that?
We can, or you can ask Laura to do it and make sure it's right. I mean, we can look it up, you can look it up, anybody can look it up, but I think if you asked just to have her do the quick search, and then she's done it, because she's the one that's gonna have to defend it.
Yep.
But if we follow the steps, it should be pretty straightforward.
Then after that, we'll hold a public hearing, right?
30 days after notification, yes.
Then take a
Are you
vote.
still here?
I won't be.
Oh,
See, he's leaving, he goes, he goes south for the winter.
38, well, it would be not until what, around December, the middle of December, before you get another 30 days after you send them out.
You could just come back for Christmas.
I drive. But I could fly, and it'd be worth it to fly, I guess.
We'd have
I'd
to-
have somebody else come in and,
when do you come back? I mean, how, is it urgent enough to do before? Do you want, I don't want to kick the can down the road. Would you rather do it when you get home, or?
I could wait till we get home.
It's up to you.
And what we could do at that point is we could schedule it, I don't wanna say backwards, but whenever you come home for the spring, we could back it up and make sure we had the search and make sure notification was given and make sure we have a plan to go out there the night before you come back here.
So I don't want to hold you off anymore, just if you're leaving, I don't know. You want to be here for the public hearing, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So could we wait on doing this and make it happen in the spring?
we can, if that's
No,
okay
don't
with
send out the
you.
notices, because you're supposed to do it 30 days after, so, you know,
If that's okay with you, I just
I
don't want to
think
feel
it'll
like
go
we're
all the
putting you
way
on the
around.
back burner.
and then nobody will have to go out there and freeze or trip in the snow either.
Okay,
Snow?
okay. You just want to let Naomi know when you're home then, and,
Yeah, I'll be home the 4th of May.
That's easy. All right, then we can work the calendar backwards, typically.
So the letter could go out prior to him coming back.
Yeah, you could send a letter out in March,
Yeah,
make sure it give 30 days.
yeah.
It's fine with me.
Fine.
It
Okay.
works with everybody.
okay.
Okay. Any
Is
other,
that all right with everybody else?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I did want to talk about, I'm fine having the lawyer, town council do the search. I do those all the time, just poking around, so I don't think it should be more than an hour's worth of work.
Thank you, George.
And if it's just even getting the names and then the town
Yeah.
can send the letters
That's all I
out.
would ask,
Yeah.
yeah.
And just a clarification, in the request, it said that you wanted us to consider waiving RSA 231-51. That's not what we're doing. We're not waiving it, we're
Right.
invoking it.
Yes.
So does that need to be updated?
Well, it
in
was
his
also,
request?
he mentioned 51 and
Yeah,
Laura
there's 52
mentioned,
and 9 and,
yeah,
a
different
lot of-
RSA.
But the 51 is the one that says the select board can do this.
Okay. But yes, I guess I'll make a motion that we at least acknowledge our intention to continue with this process, invoke RSAs as necessary to hold public meetings, to dissolve the aforementioned road.
Yeah, I second that.
Again, my concern is that his letter says that he wants us to waive 231-51, and that's not what we're doing.
Right, but we'll just,
Okay.
right,
I think
We'll
Dan
be
will make a
invoking
motion
the
on what
RSAs.
too, right?
say again?
I just when we get there and have a public hearing, we'll make the motion,
At the
the
very,
correct
yeah,
motion.
like,
Right.
Laura Spector Morgan said, we do at the very,
Yes.
very end.
Yes.
To actually pull the trigger.
Yep. So I guess Salem, to be fair, made a motion, second, any, all in favor?
Yes.
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 See you in the spring.
Yes, have a good winter.
One of
Thank
His
you.
maps back.
Yes, he did. Approval of duct cleaning at the safety complex. Recognize the fire chief.
Good evening, good evening. After talking with Beth, the duct cleaning for the, for the safety complex, does in fact fall under the ARPA funds that we have. I think I'm saying that right?
Yes,
Right, correct?
ARPA,
ARPA
yeah.
funds. So the $3,750 will be coming out of the ARPA funds and not out of the fire department budget nor the police department budget.
Perfect.
And that was our only question last week.
I think, yeah, so,
How much do we have? How much ARPA money do we still have?
Did you get that number today?
Yeah, and I left it at home.
Janice came in and said
There's
that.
a lot.
Yeah, I think it's perfect use for it and, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the 3750 is not, that's not gonna be a whole lot taken out of that fund.
Right.
There is quite a bit there, so.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's all we asked you to come back for,
That's,
so,
that was it.
so I,
But
oh,
did
sorry.
you make a motion? I'm sorry, I don't have
We
it
didn't
noted
make a
that
motion
you
to
made a
use that
motion.
yet.
Did not.
I don't think you made a
No, no,
motion.
I was getting ready to,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have
Yeah,
to-
so, unless anyone else has something to say.
That's.
No, I think we talked about it pretty well
Last
sometime
week.
in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Last
that
week
is
I
my
did.
manifest.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we move forward with air duct cleaning at the safety complex, awarding a contract to Armstrong in the amount of $3,750. And the source of funds will be ARPA.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
All right, thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you.
And I don't know if, you guys want this tonight. I did get the check came in from JSJ Auctions, which is the White Farm, the equipment that was, sold at the White Farm. And after, they took their percentage for doing it, the town, there's a check here for the town of Ware for $634.50. And that is the proceeds from the White Farm list that I had emailed you folks.
Okay.
That was held on October 21st, 2023 in Concord. I don't know if you want the check now, Naomi, or want me to bring it into Beth tomorrow?
I'm not here tomorrow, so if you want to take it to Beth,
Take it to Beth? Okay.
or I can lock it up.
I will, and what I'll do is I'll make a copy because I have the cover letter here and actually what everything went for. I'll make copies of that and I'll send that to all of you. So all of you have that, all right?
Perfect. Thank you.
Need a motion, anything for that? No?
No. Not to take
No
money in.
motion to take money.
Perfect.
Get money free. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, concerns?
No? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Next, we'll talk to DPW Director Jason, about a potential new hire.
Do you guys want to make a motion?
Could you just run over it real quick, public, please?
Yeah, okay. So we're looking to hire, John Osborne. A lot of people in town know him. He's got plenty of experience, DPW, transfer station as well. So, yeah, he's gonna be a part-time, on-call plow driver for us this winter,
And his hourly rate,
$35 an hour.
and that's just on call.
On-call, yep. Yep,
Did you
on-call
say there's
for
gonna,
snowstorms.
gonna be a minimum per week? no
Yeah,
matter?
8-hour minimum.
We be there the 8-hour minimum?
Hopefully,
Okay, just question.
yeah. Yeah.
Like hire trucks, you pay a minimum, where they go.
The hire trucks, you get them a minimum, the part-time, on-call, people are getting a minimum, just for a little bit more incentive to get people to sign up.
We discussed it briefly in non-public. Is there any discussion on that?
No.
I personally know John has done it many years, and used to plow with him years ago, and obviously is more than capable of doing the job, so. I'll entertain a motion, I guess.
Make a motion to hire John part-time for $35 an hour to work for DPW,
It's an 8-hour minimum.
8-hour minimum.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, welcome aboard, John. Thank you for offering. And you said you wanted a little update.
This is something I would like you guys to accept or move forward for us. It's gonna be a sign-on bonus to try to get some full-time positions in, some part-time on-call positions in for us for this coming winter season. It'll be for full-time drivers as well as the part-time seasonal drivers. The funds I'm looking to use for this is surplus money from all of our vacancies. It's on the last page of that packet that I just gave you, is what we're gonna end up having by the end of the year, barring any major snowstorms between now and December, end of December. Basically, it's a sum of money up front, and then monthly stipend, I guess, or a monthly bonus for the people who are gonna stay that whole month and do work and be available for us. And this would, if accepted by you guys, would negate our normal on-call bonus at the end of the winter season. And that money would also be used as well to offset the cost of this.
So the current employees would get this also, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think those guys are vetted. They've been with us for at least 5 years.
Where did the language for this come from?
Me and the finance director, mostly the finance director, worked on that and found a copy of another town's, and we kind of tweaked it to fit what we wanted.
I guess, just to kind of get the ball rolling. So, you say in lieu of our current bonus, what's the current bonus?
500, 300.
Well, it was 300,
Then you moved to
and
750.
then I think last year we moved it to 750. I don't know off the top of my head if that actually got into the budget this year, or if it's stuck to 300, because the board voted to,
I think it's at 300.
yeah. The board voted last year to raise it up a little bit. But in the default budget, obviously,
Either way,
it's still 300.
it's a big jump.
It is. The state was doing the same thing across their whole,
Did they do that for their current employees?
I believe they did. They did it across their whole highway departments, other different departments as well.
And we have a need,
We have a serious need.
for drivers. So what is our current staffing? How many slots are there? How many slots are full?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full-time truck drivers, 5 CDL, 1 non-CDL. You guys just hired our second part-time on-call. One of those is CDL, one of those is not CDL. And then, those 5 full-timers did not include the DPW director position. So you can add that as well.
I'm trying to read and listen at the same time. Is this just for full-time? I thought I heard you say something about part-time.
Yeah, second page is the part-timer on call. It's the same thing, just different language as far as the position.
So,
Oh, sorry,
Go
go ahead. Well, I definitely think that this is, something of this fashion is warranted and needed, and everybody else is doing it. And I guess it just, different feelings about giving the part-timers, I'm sorry, John, about the same as the guys that are gonna be there 40 hours after they've plowed all night, I guess, is it?
I understand that. I think you guys have also had public comment up here saying, hey, if you were to raise up some money here, you might get some more people.
Right,
And I know for a fact that there's 3 people that this would probably interest. And they all have 5+ years of experience
yep,
anyway.
yep.
So how many positions do you still need to fill?
Like I said.
If we're just gonna fill empty spots that we have, 4 of them. If you're gonna, not include the part-time on-call people, there's 2 more positions, full-time positions to fill.
So you need somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 4 full-time
Yeah, yep.
equivalents.
Do we have any contracted people?
I have 1 contractor.
So does that take one of your positions, or is the 4 your
That's not
12
one of
open
the
spots?
positions.
It's not.
We're kinda up in the air on a part-time position right at the moment, so I kinda work in.
I guess I was asking, you're
Yeah.
trying to fill all the seats, and if we don't need a contractor, then,
Yeah, and when we went over that, Salem had a question, what are we gonna do if we do fill full-time positions?
right,
And I said we would just end up kind of phasing the contractors and/or part-timers out. They'd just obviously get their minimum for the week, but,
right.
the full-time positions are definitely something that I would prefer to fill with. I think this gets us there. I think this is a great incentive, especially for that mechanic position, because that is gonna be a key position this year. If that's empty, it's not gonna be. It's not
Both of you are gonna have to plow.
It's not gonna be very good for us.
And is this money, mostly open payroll money that you have?
Exactly, the 3rd page on there has what we're projected to have at the end of the year.
so you talk about the mechanic role, is that technically an operator then?
That'll be in a full-time operator position.
So I guess where I am right now, so you have money that the voters have said, this is money we are willing to give DPW to pay people to, make sure the roads are taken care of. And you're saying you want to spend that money in this way this year. That's not enormously unreasonable, kind of in a vacuum, but what happens next year when we've said we're okay paying a lot of money
Yeah.
and then potentially you get some hires?
This is just for this year. I'm hoping this is gonna fill our positions that we need to have. And we do have, that stuff that I presented to you a couple weeks ago that, I've been talking with a couple other people that we're probably gonna go to a warrant article to do something more with our wages as well, to hopefully, get more interest in positions.
That was gonna be my question. Is this part of a larger incentive package that
It's
you're
a,
looking at
it's a
long-term?
bigger plan. Honestly, waiting till vote for this, it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
It's gonna be after our season, so I think it's imperative that we do something now for the people that we have, and as well as, hopefully to get new people.
Yeah, think Salem was concerned about precedent. Is this,
Yep.
or
I
every year we're
understand.
gonna have to pay $10,000 to have a plow driver over and above wages?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna snap out of whatever funk that we're in eventually.
That would be my only, one of my concerns, but they know that coming into it.
Yeah.
They're gonna grumble next year when they don't get it, but they got it at least, right?
Yeah, I
Got it
mean,
once, that's more than you got before, ain't it, John?
at the beginning of this year, what I was projecting to end up with this winter was 5 guys, including me. And you've got 6 including me, plus 2 part-timers on call, and a contractor. I'm also talking with a couple other contractors as well, so the positions are starting to fill, but I don't wanna jinx us.
And you're starting to fill the positions without this much money.
A couple of them, yep.
We've also talked, Ricky has mentioned, when we've had these discussions the last couple of months, that, hey, maybe as the weather turns, folks with CDLs will phase out of the jobs they're currently doing and opening up. I don't have any kind of background to back up that opinion or not, but
And
Somebody has
November
mentioned-
15th's coming.
I, just out of experience, for what it's worth, I guess, I created the part-time position that's there, and I did go over a year without it. I never did get that construction person. I don't remember who filled it first, to be honest. I think it was a previous DPW employee, but that has always been said, that construction guys are looking for work in the winter, but I never had one come to me. Doesn't mean they won't, I guess. Problem is, you get people, let's say R&D or paver, there's 100 of them guys, right? They all do parking lots, so their guys plow.
Exactly.
That's the problem. The big union guys down in Mass get paid more money to stay home than they do to go to work, for real. I mean,
Yeah.
so, we've always said that, but I actually never had that happen for me personally as a director, but I think this is, I think you're gonna have to do something. I do think, I can almost see a couple people that would do this, but
Yeah. Something's gotta get done. I mean, last year was rough. This year's gonna be worse.
guess my only concern is if you happen to fill it full of part-timers to take this, and you have people interested in full-time, what do we do? That's unlikely, I'm sure, but,
Yeah, I mean, the other part-time driver that we hired, he expressed to you guys if things didn't work out with his stuff, he would be interested in staying on full-time, so maybe we can find a couple more people like that, I don't know.
I mean, everybody's gotta keep in mind part-timers are not getting the benefits of full-timers are getting,
Exactly.
so. The ones that are getting paid a little more money.
I mean,
Lots of people don't find value in them. I always have, and it saved me immense amount of money over the medical bills and stuff over the years,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if you just look at that chart, you can see the amount of money that's going into insurance and stuff for us. So,
I don't see a huge unemployment rate coming the next month or two. I think this time next year, every election year seems to stall things for a minute, but I think this year we're gonna be, I think it's a good idea, Jason. It's a lot to swallow all at once, I guess, and I guess I overthink things, always try to give the full-timers a little more than the part-timers, but they are getting more, they're getting the benefits and stuff too, I guess, so.
I mean, they're gonna be equally. as
And
valuable to
overtime.
us. Yeah.
And so on this third sheet, we end up with budgeted, we'll call it 1.1 million. How much of that, is that what else is in the highway budget? I guess sand, salt.
Sand, salt,
Repairs.
guardrails, uniforms.
What I'm getting at is, what percentage of the, and roughly, what percentage of the highway budget is 1.1 million?
Thought it was like, a quarter to a third, somewhere in there.
So, well, it says, budgeted 1.164 million, total budget, and wages 610,000.
Well, that's,
Yeah, but that doesn't
that's just
include
the
your
full-time.
Medicare and FICA and
Yeah,
all of that, life
Right.
insurance, so.
Right,
yeah, this is just the cost of having people.
right.
Okay, and then, so backing up, I think you said you currently have 6 full-time, 2 part-time, up to 4 remaining slots, that's 12 slots, not including you, is that accurate?
Yes.
Would you be included in this?
I was gonna leave that up to you guys. If you say no, you say no. If you say yes, you say yes. I'm not,
You're gonna be plowing though, right?
I will be, yes.
So all I'm getting at with this, we're talking upwards of $130,000.
Somewhere in the 120 to 140 range, but only half of that's gonna be spent in the calendar year 2023, at best.
I would say that you guys allocate the surplus money.
Yeah, I'm just
My
trying to
recommendation.
consider. I keep thinking about, it's a big ask, and it is over 10, it's 11 and change % of the
Total.
personnel budget. And that's what I was getting at, what's your total budget? So, okay, that does drive it down, but it's still like
A lot.
a 20, you said 25, so it'd be like. I mean,
The
it'd be
total
like a
budget,
3% bump on the entire budget.
highway department, is about 2 million, sorry.
Okay, so this is half, roughly.
I
So.
mean, that doesn't include, road maintenance reconstruction. That's another 500,000 separate fund, but
Yeah, okay. I know, because, okay, you're talking about a one-time thing, but if it happens next year and people are like, wait a minute, you've set a precedent, you've set a high water mark, now we have, in one vote, the budget has gone up 5%. That's the kind of thing
That's
that
all-
we take
yeah.
to the town normally. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, the town will never pass that, 5%.
So I'm fine doing something, I don't know if it's this number, maybe it is, but it has gotta be clear that this is not setting a precedent, but I don't know how we do that. 'Cause that ends up being roughly, what, 1.5 full-time people, when you count FICA and insurance and everything?
yeah, do you have that chart? I think one position, I guess, is about 80-ish thousand.
About like 1.5 people.
Depends on, I mean, operator position's higher with insurance kind of deal, so.
So I don't have a final answer, like what's in my head, and I'm glad that you're coming up with solutions. It's hard to say yes, but it's hard to say no.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your concern, but, I mean, I'm also concerned about 3 days after the storm's done and we're still not done.
Yep.
You know, my concern for you, for the few people you got left, is they ain't gonna stick around with that.
They're all good guys, the crew's great.
They are, but they're gonna get sick
They all-
after 4 days.
I know, they all know what they're in for, we've all kinda sat down and had the conversation. They know it's gonna suck, we're gonna get through it, but on the other hand, being recognized for how crappy it's gonna be would be very nice for them.
Well, my opinion is that we should not take a vote on this week because it wasn't,
Yeah.
meeting in which the public usually comes to, and
Right.
it wasn't on the agenda for discussion today. So I think that will give us some time to think about
I think
it.
it's a fair place to start.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. If you guys wanna bounce ideas off me or whatever throughout the week, that's fine.
I certainly like to,
I just know that something needs to happen.
you know, we're gonna have a full quorum the next few weeks, so, that's fine. Rick, you'll be here next week if I happen not to be, I won't have a vote, but I'm in favor of it, you know, as long as it's made out to be. This is, you know, it's for this year. Worry about next year, that doesn't mean this is going on the budget every year for them, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
I,
And I know they know that, but just as long as when it gets voted on, that gets said, and this is a big, it's a big ask, and it's a big deal, but, you know, on the other hand, I guess there's only 2 or 3 of them down there now, but there's a lot of people over the years that done it for $300 too, you know? So, you know, most places give a far bigger on-call than that, rather it's a couple grand a year.
yeah.
Years and years of $300 for the guys that are there and getting it. And not that I'm someone that thinks you ought to do everything everybody else is doing, but everybody else is giving sign-on bonuses. Everybody, large ones,
I think it's a major incentive.
15, 20 grand to go be a nurse right out of the
Yeah.
first level.
Yeah, I think it's a good incentive. I think it's gonna get more interest for us. I would like to see it, hopefully, to fill that mechanic.
Especially there's
position.
enough money to encumber out of this year's budget.
Yeah,
So it won't affect 2024's. We start fresh with that number.
exactly.
And we're saying the money is available because people have not been working.
Right.
You've been down people, and so we are asking current and prospective new hires, part-time or otherwise, that they will be working extra because we don't have a full staff. But you could get to a full staff,
Could possibly.
but the money will not be available if you maintain a full staff, because that's where the money's coming from. So I would, like, if we go down this path, that's one way, just to be very clear with the people that are still down there. Like,
I don't think you're gonna have an influx of people.
I'm just trying to cover our
And-
bases.
Yeah.
No,
to
I
cover it.
understand, but
Yeah.
in the next 30 days after a decision is made on this, I don't think you're
But
gonna.
I'm worried about this time next year, if you have a full staff and people are saying, wait a minute, you gave us 10 grand last year. And now you're offering
I
back
want
to
10
300 or
now.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, sorry, we had money because of the circumstances of the
Yeah.
entire year, everybody working hard, all that. But potentially next year, we may be in different circumstances where you're hiring people March, April, and there's not this big pile of money sitting there.
To maybe curb that a little, maybe in this year's budget, put in for $1,000 bonus or whatever for full-timers in the future,
Yep,
just a thought.
yeah, working
I
with,
never got there, it was always such a fight to get the voters to vote 50-cent raise. We
I
got a
think
dollar one year and then we got a 3% every year, but it's hard to, I think right now, it's a good way to show that it's important to, gotta gunny up the money whether we like it or not, I guess, get the
We-
service done.
Where's the money gonna come from come January 1st?
We're gonna encumber it all out of this year's
We're gonna
budget.
encumber it all out?
Is that doable for salaries?
Yeah, I'm wondering that, is that doable thing?
Well,
Is it doable to do that after the first of the
We
year?
have to have a conversation about that.
Good question.
Do you know, Naomi?
I don't know, that's why I said we'll have to have a conversation about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm just kinda
So-
curious.
That's a
We
question we
just
can ask
add these
Laura
kind
for
of things
next
to you?
meeting.
Like, can you talk to Beth?
Or is it
about
something
it?
you ask her,
yeah,
is Beth
I mean,
know
we
that?
talked about that. That spreadsheet that you have is from her, so if we couldn't do it, I assume she would've said something, but I can
Yeah,
double
just
check with her
yeah,
tomorrow.
double check, 'cause I just wonder about that.
Kind of slightly unrelated, just, so the eligibility talks, it says, to be eligible, must complete the entire seasonal term in good standing, but we're paying out monthly, so those kind of conflict.
Yeah, I know it's a problem the state was running into if people were leaving halfway through the year.
I'm fine paying people for the work they do, but I would change eligibility for, for each, something about you get paid for the month you work, and if you, for the full month you work.
Yep.
If you leave, December 29th, well,
get-
sorry,
you
you
don't
got
get paid.
November.
Yep.
You don't get paid.
I think it would be at the end of the month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
After you've worked the entire month, then you would
Yeah.
get it kind of similar to what they do with the medical. It's at the end of the quarter, you don't get it at the beginning of the quarter.
Yeah, so I
So
would,
that if you
Yeah, that'd
stay
be
for
fine.
I
all
would
three,
propose that alteration.
to make
Yep.
sure it's at the end of the month.
Yep,
And that's not changing the payout necessarily, it's just changing the eligibility. So I guess to keep moving, we're
yep,
gonna ask a few things of Jason. Kind of going backwards, tweak the eligibility, find out where money would come from
From
January 1st.
if it can be encumbered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
We will put it on the agenda for next week to talk about this again.
yeah, I think we should.
And then there's something I guess I'd like to talk to Jason about, still related to plow drivers, but when everybody's done with this.
I'm done.
Anybody else have anything?
Are there any other changes you guys wanna see? Any suggestions? Ultimately, you guys are gonna be the ones who are answering for any complaints and things that are gonna happen this winter. So, I just want you guys to really take a look at that. So,
It's a good segue. So I've had a lot of people asking me, hey, what are we doing? Seeing the signs, whatnot. Seeing like Dunbarton has their own sign. And kind of the question that we always end up at, people, it's like, hey, we're doing our best. We've had job recs open forever. We've got these incentives, potentially even now another incentive. But people want to actually hear from us. And I don't know the legality. Somebody asked about sending letters from the town. Can we,
I did. I
we've
mentioned
talked
it.
about Facebook, we've talked about Channel 6, whatnot, but that the only way to reach everybody is to actually send a letter. And so if we're in dire circumstances, which maybe we won't be, maybe, but I think we need to pick a date and say, okay, we've crossed whatever date and things look bad. We need to let everybody know what to expect this winter. And yeah, it will be on us. It'll be on us for the decisions that have gotten us to this point.
And I
but-
think, I think if we're still short this, after the
Yeah.
15th,
That's,
November 15th.
and that's us collectively.
Yeah,
Like the-
right.
Yeah,
Ricky's not out of it either.
yeah.
Unless you're saying you want to potentially send out a notification
Yeah,
that we
and-
are short
and-
X drivers,
and-
and that means Y for service level.
And to that end, I'd like to find out now, or start the ball rolling, what can we legally do? Is the town legally allowed to send a letter to every single household? What would that cost, if so? If so, where would that money come from? What
So
other-
just so we do the mailer,
Yep.
we do with every door delivery, EDD,
Sorry,
costs us about $900
okay.
For
to
everybody.
do every door delivery. And what that does, it would probably be higher than that because we exclude businesses. But we can include a business.
Yeah.
We exclude them because that's how we send the mailer when we do the booklet. We do it every door
But we
delivery.
don't actually plow for those businesses. But
Well,
they-
you do plow B&B Lane and all them, you do plow. So,
Do we have to
No,
send
the
out,
business parking lots and things, we don't plow for them.
what it does is you get a box of, we have it printed, and get a box, and the mail people take, there's about 4,000 pieces of mail. What they do is they just put one in every mailbox that they give it, they put one in every post office box. That's what every door delivery means. It's not box holder anymore, it's called every box or every door delivery.
and would we be liable, though, to have to send out a mailer to the people that live right on a state road?
Hey, now you're weeding.
If we sent out to everybody, but
It's
might as well
growing a
send out to
garden and picking the
everybody, right?
weeds, you know, I don't know,
'Cause
it's
not
gonna
just
take an
about the road
awful
you
lot
live on,
more.
but
No, all of it.
Traveling.
Right.
Yeah,
and to the
I don't know
businesses.
And that kinda answers the businesses, cause a lot of businesses are on town roads that have to get there.
And it wouldn't be all of them, but like, you know, like a Country 3 or somebody like Zoomies that could pin it up
Yeah.
and be handy just for them to have.
Yeah.
I don't know legally, if that's legal, I'd have to ask, I don't know.
That's
Like
just
you
where I'd
said,
like to
B and B
start
Lane's a
here.
great example, that's all businesses, and we do maintain that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's how
a,
you do the mailer,
okay.
And
it's
then
every door
I
delivery.
think the other thing, if in fact we don't have the help in November and we send this letter out, the other thing I think we need to think about is, I think the EMTs and the fire department maybe have runs that they go back multiple times to people that have health issues, and maybe that would be a nice thing, that those roads get plowed first, if we were just made aware of what roads those are.
I don't think we can add on special routes when they're short-handed.
But I don't think that you can provide that information regarding HIPAA, just
I
because you're
don't
a
mean
frequent
that, you don't have
flyer.
to have, you just have to know the street.
Yeah, but if it's every,
I think
I
that's a
don't know,
little.
maybe, I guess, but if it's 3 hours with a full crew, and then you're asking to go back and pay special attention to,
I've talked with police and fire as well and told them, hey, we might be in a situation where you're gonna need to make special phone calls to me or get on the radio and say.
like
hey.
always, if you have an emergency, call us, we'll be
Exactly,
there, yeah.
exactly.
We've gone to personal addresses and private roads if somebody was having a heart attack and their
But I
life
think
was on the line.
they've also talked about it, which they've done before, is they have the plow truck.
They now have a plow
If
truck.
they're out, they have a situation with a lot of snow, they can go ahead of the ambulance or ahead of the
I
fire.
don't know if they're still interested or if it ever went anywhere or not, but I talked to Chief Vazina about doing some trading for that sander that used to go in the pickup. So he had interest,
Yep,
cause he could help out his own parking lot stuff, now they got a V-plow,
yep.
so if they were willing to, if they had personnel to keep their own parking lot full, we could loan it anyway.
Yeah, we have that, we do have that one contractor with a 1-ton to fill that void there, so that's a good thing, but yeah, that is, I know they did have that at least one season,
Yeah.
they were using it, so.
Well, I'm good with this, I guess, Jason, if you find out the stuff we asked you, and we'll try to talk about it next week, so we don't hold you up too long.
Yep.
Do you want me to check on a mailer? Just
Yeah,
take
and
a,
I'd
just
like
be
to
just a quick second,
Yeah,
it
and I'd like
shouldn't
to pick a
be.
date that, hey, if we've hit this point, bring Jason back in here and say, okay, get your opinion, are we good, are we not good, and if we aren't good.
December
then
1st?
Do that.
That's a month. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, we go on call November 15th, but
You don't think the 15th would be better?
Well, by
You
the
want-
time this meeting gets over there, I mean, be a little while into the, I don't care personally, I just, a month from now is not very far. Time we have a meeting and discuss this, and hopefully we have a yes or no for him, and then something gets implemented and he gets it out, it's gonna be 3 weeks from tonight before anyone has a chance to put an application in, so.
so it'd be December 4th then, would be
Okay.
the next meeting.
Okay. Does that seem reasonable, Sam?
It does.
But next meeting, he'll come back.
Yeah.
And you'll have a round.
We'll have a round table with the couple things we asked. Just do it, email me, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I ain't got nothing.
I'm really happy with the, calcium whatever.
Calcium chloride?
Yeah. On the dusty road I live on is no longer dusty. That worked immediately, and it's still sticking around, that's been great.
Got it. The new system that we had, seems to be working out pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, it's sticking actually lower, gallons per mile than we thought, actually, so.
Wow.
Good. That's good news. What's the shelf life on that?
Indefinite,
Okay,
yeah.
it's not like a yearly, it's gonna
Yeah, I
all
mean,
get replaced.
no, yeah, stuff we have left over, we can use in the spring.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
See you next week.
I guess we'll do the manifest, this last thing on our list, and then I just had a couple 2-second things I wanted to mention. So, order the treasurer to sign payroll and accounts payable, checks dated November 2nd, 2023, is included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest of $72,671.21 for weekly payroll. Accounts payable manifest of $50,966.10. And John Stark payable manifest for $250,000 for a total of $373,637.31.
Can you give me a second? Because that first number is different than the one I got emailed. Sorry. Is it still floating around?
Which one are you looking for?
Oh, this one. So I had written, well, because we get these emailed to us, the email says, hey, this is sensitive, don't share this information. So I don't know if I should just be reading these numbers. But it was, I wrote down that number.
56,509.
Yes. So that number lines up, that number doesn't. Email. This was accounts payable on Friday.
This one.
So it's the top one.
Pass it down.
No, I think what you're asking is, that's just the net pay, right? Or is that the gross pay? What about with the retirement, FRCA? Don't we have to add those together?
That's probably what I'm missing.
That's what I'm wondering, is there another? Because I think this is the total, but then there's also a match for the retirement, and then there's a match for FICA. But I see what you're saying, I see what you're looking at, same thing I am.
Yeah, and that makes sense if it's just not on there. Well, now it's not loading.
Is there another, like, a couple more sheets? No, I mean, to this, I agree with you, what you see there.
Oh.
No, I just didn't know what was in the printed out sheets.
That's what I was trying to line up, so I'm staring at. Okay, checks are that amount, so we still got about 32 floating around somewhere, but then. This is riveting television, for those still tuned in. I mean, there are more sheets, but. And I can't swear that this is, normally I'll read the paper version, and this week I read the email version. So I can't swear that the email always lines up with this, it just jumped out at me. Yeah, I wish I could make those numbers match.
The number you have is a little less, so can we move to pay up to that amount and have
That's
Beth
a good idea.
double check it?
That's a good idea. And it is almost certainly just a mistake in, I'm reading, you know, there's different information. And so if she does double check it, it'd be great to get a clarification of what I'm doing wrong.
Do you want me to reread it, Naomi?
So no, I fixed yours. I fixed it. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, he
No.
suggested saying
Another-
pay it
another-
up to.
to,
We can't decide,
No, I'm looking at what he's looking at. I don't know that answer. I thought there was been another printout or.
no, I didn't find it, so I didn't know. His number was a little less, so I
Can
didn't,
look at it for a second?
yep. You know, if we can't find it tonight, because we gotta make payroll, if we can just approve up to the amount on the paper,
Yeah, that's good
have
suggestion.
Beth triple check it, and then,
I'm just trying to pick myself and see what it looked like. Oh, sorry.
you didn't sign it, actually.
I haven't signed it.
You haven't signed it in, sorry about that.
I had a question about these. See it, like, wondering why they're three different amounts of the same person. Oh, that's why. There, 20, it's just different text. Okay.
I had a couple of thoughts, but it's not working. I honestly, I'm not sure. I can't come up with it, but I guess we'll have to.
Yeah, I think Benji's idea was a good one.
Yeah, I guess I'll rephrase it to move, I move to order the treasurer to sign payroll, accounts payable checks dated November 2nd, 2023, is included in following manifest. Payroll manifest up to $72,671.21. Accounts payable manifest $50,966.10, and John Stark manifest $250,000. Have a second? For $373,637.31. Do I have a second?
Second.
And that includes the removal of the where, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
you did this, right? Minus the 250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, I moved, who seconded? I have a
Sam.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Pretty much brings us, I guess, to the end of the agenda. I just had two things wrote down I meant to ask, last few weeks if we've, invited the last DPW worker for an exit interview. May or may not want to.
Who is that?
Good idea.
Lee Weatherby was the last one.
Oh, yeah, right.
Just because we said we would, and I don't want to jump around, maybe he's not interested. And I know we have, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I know we have a couple of Monday holidays coming up, and we have had a pretty grueling schedule. We still need to get all the business done that we need to, but, you know, our work sessions there, some of them we've gotten down to things like town seals and stuff. I think we've taken care of, we've hired the building inspector and the DPW director and some of the major policies that we were concerned about, and I didn't know if, and I'm sure we should wait till there's 5 of us, so Ricky can speak to, it just was on my mind, and, I'm bad if I don't talk about it when I think of it. I won't remember till a month from now, so, know what your guys' feeling was on how we're getting caught up currently on the work that was very pressing. If we, at least the weeks that were Monday holidays, we don't worry about having a meeting that week anyway, start there.
Yeah.
Maybe go to every other week through the winter. Budget season, maybe not, depends on how the schedule is.
Yeah, and I'd say, Kevin had a couple of things that I don't want to lose sight of either. Making sure we did department head annual reviews. And then he was also pushing for, we got the list of what contracts expire when, and making sure we got new RFPs put out for the services that need new contracts.
Yep.
Either they have been missing contracts for a while, or they're expiring at the end of this year. So, I agree, yeah, we're through a bulk of it, but those are two items that I don't want to lose sight of.
Nope.
So maybe,
No, and the end of the year's coming fast too, so those
Right.
ones are things maybe, maybe we have a couple more work sessions,
yeah,
but I don't have a calendar.
I don't
We have at least one.
Well, the two
The next-
Monday holidays that we talked about, unfortunately, is Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, yeah,
And we're gonna have to meet just because of year end.
getcha.
Yeah, the ones, Christmas is the 25th, January 1st is the 1st, they're both Mondays.
Yep.
You're gonna have to meet after Christmas. Not necessarily the Christmas you won't meet, but you're gonna have to meet after Christmas. Just because you're gonna have your year end that you have to, because our calendar closes 12/31. Thanksgiving week is very short, but it's entirely, it's you guys. I'm here, so.
I'm sure Ricky wants to weigh in anyway, I just wanted to mention it, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Start
give us,
thinking about.
Yeah,
this was an hour and a half.
right?
Right, and I think we did a marathon a week ago. You and I
Right,
talked about
yeah.
that. It was after 11.
And then that meeting there,
12.
that meeting there was, no other choice, obviously, but I think, I've said before, we're here making difficult decisions sometimes, and what little bit of brain I got shuts down about 9 o'clock, so I don't feel like, certain things we ought to be discussing till. Last week was an exception, we had to, but,
Yeah.
I like, and obviously public meetings too, as long as the public's here, doing business with us, but I like these, like tonight's good for, we get
So your
things done.
comments, how do you want to handle? DPW director exit interview, I can reach out.
Yeah, I think you ought to reach out anyway. Where was that?
There's
And then-
still some I haven't signed, so don't shut it off.
Okay. What's your fingies? Yeah, I want to get right back to, will be Ricky's meeting next week anyway, I guess, but I'd like to see us
So
get
you're not
right.
here next week?
Al, I don't know yet.
Okay,
I think I will be next week, I think the following, if I do go away.
okay.
But it'd be his decision, I guess, but I'd certainly like to get back on the, we talked about Jason, give him an answer one way or the other
Oh, yeah. Sure.
next week.
Is there a sheet that goes with this one?
It's in the back few pages. It should be, in the top, I think it's like the third sheet back that you signed. Nope, top. Yeah, and then keep going, you're gonna see it. There you go.
Thank you.
And there's 2 copies, one for the bookkeeper and one treasurer and one for Beth.
I just have one little thing, and it wasn't on the agenda, but Ricky had mentioned to me about getting a hold of some people to see what it would cost to fix those headstones in the cemetery down there that are broken, and I called Perry Brothers in Concord, I called Manchester Memorial and Peterborough Marble and Granite, and the only one that got back to me was Perry Brothers. And they said they could come out this Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and I said I'd meet them up there.
Okay, nice.
And then they'll give us some kind of an estimate. They're not charging us to come out, but they'll give us an estimate of roughly what it's gonna cost to do the repairs. Because I think we'll have to have that in the warrant articles probably to take money out of Cypre. So if it's whatever, $10,000, to do it, whatever the number is.
Yep, well, that's good, good start.
So the only one I've got, we got an email from a resident. She asked us to read this at our next BOS meeting. Normally, and what I was gonna say is, hey, we normally do this in correspondence, which would be, our regular meetings, which would be next week, but since we're way ahead on time, we could follow her request and just go
Yeah.
ahead and read it.
Yeah, you mind reading it?
I can read it. All right.
Did we all get this, or is this?
Yep. This was 2 board members. All right. Good afternoon. I'm writing to inform you of yet another
Oh.
illegality in the actions of the Ware Board of Selectmen. Although you chose to appoint Janice Matthews to the BOS, your decision to seat her violates state law. Please see New Hampshire Statute 669:7, as well as New Hampshire RSA 32V, or 5, rather. I assume that's a Roman numeral. Ms. Matthews made public comments signaling her intention to step down as her choice. This was deliberately misleading. It was not her choice. It is state law. Additionally, although she stated her intention to step down, her current status as the vice chair of the FC Finance Committee, a position she accepted knowing she was a candidate for a disqualifying position, which she failed to inform her FC colleagues of, remains in place until such time as she formally submits her resignation. Excuse me, sorry, shouldn't have drank some water. And that resignation is accepted by the committee chair. Until then, she cannot serve on the BOS, and any and all votes cast by her are illegitimate, as was her swearing in. Seriously, guys, can you cut it out? Can you not repeatedly break the law and act against the best interests of us townsfolk? I watched your physical reaction to my husband, Chris Mann's public comments. I've never actually seen a public official squirm in their seat before until then. Selectman Hippler and Selectperson Burdick were literally squirming in their seats.
Could I just interrupt you 1 second? I wasn't squirming in my seat. I have a sciatic in my back that's bothering me, so just so she knows.
All right. Selectman Bloom refused to make eye contact for most of my husband's comment. During the vote for Ms. Matthews, Selectman Bloom visibly hesitated for quite a bit before voting for Ms. Matthews. He did this because Ms. Matthews admitted to being his campaign advisor. He was well aware that he should have recused himself from the vote. If he was on the other side of the public comment, he would have demanded a recusal, as my husband did. Instead, he chose to serve his own interests instead of preserving what little confidence the public has in their elected and appointed officials. Selectman Bloom, you have earned every sleepless night you have had since former Selectman Cahill resigned, and I hope they continue until you stop violating the public's trust. Please add this correspondence to the minutes of your next BOS meeting. Emphatically, Tara Mann. So, there you are.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything else?
I don't. I have met with Naomi and Beth, and I'll be meeting with the rest of the department heads, DPW on Wednesday, and then trying to meet with all you guys the next couple days after that, so I'll reach out to you.
All righty.
I'm all set.
Well, all set.
It's a good agenda.
I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, everybody.
One sec. One